Christmas, Chiefs Kingdom. Chiefs gives you the present, and they are the number one seed in the AFC for these playoffs, and they're just getting started. How did it look? We're going to tell you right now on RGR Football. And we are back. Merry Christmas to all of you. Merry Christmas, Dan. Hope that you've had a good morning to this point. A little bit easier to live with a win, right?
Always is easier to live with a win, especially when it looks as easy as that. You know, I was thinking back to the RGR game plan, and I should have just stopped what I said, that they're just going to thump the Steelers, because they absolutely thumped the Steelers. Offense looked great without Chris Jones. They were getting after the quarterback. That's what you needed on a game, in a game where now you can rest for 23 full days. Now, there's going to be some questions about rust coming out after that, but I'm far less worried about this team coming off of that kind of a break than any other team in the NFL.
I have to admit, I am too. And I'm really encouraged by what the defense did. He wanted to have DJ Humphries back, right? But was really unlikely. Not having Chris was a different thing. The entire defensive front raised their game. I was really impressed with them. Starting with George Karlaftis, who I thought was kind of the catalyst. I wanted it to be a Menahue, but he just didn't have the feel against his matchups today. Did have a couple of nice plays. I think he drew a penalty at one point, and he did hit the quarterback. And that's the name of the game at this point. But Turk comes on to help George. FAU with an incredible rush today, making noticeable difference in the way that he approaches that. I thought that was a turning point for him, not just on that pass rush, but for his career. And kudos to Mike Dana for stepping up. Your guy came through in a big way.
That was what you needed. Against the run, they were spotty. They were iffy. Chris Jones was not, I mean, he was clearly felt against the run. There was that drive where they just ran down their throat. But like you said, complimentary. It wasn't even the blitzes. It was the four-man pass rush. We told you in the game plan, Russell Wilson will hold on to the football. And they took stark advantage of that and got after him multiple times. They probably could have had a couple more sacks too. George Karlaftis overruns Russell Wilson on one of those, a couple other ones where they just miss him too. This is Merry Chiefs Saxmas for you guys. Like, that's how this went in this football game. It was all over from the time they went up a couple of scores.
Yeah, I love it. And Merry Christmas to all of our regulars. FLDB's in the house. So one of our mods. Nice to see you. Terry, Brenda, Steve, and Darius. Nice to see all you guys. Hope you've had a great Christmas to this point. Certainly.
Absolutely.
Win, but, you know, there's a lot that goes into a win. And I thought this one was very telling. I don't want to forget two other defensive performances because we talked way too much offense. For those of you that are just joining us from Locked On Chiefs, thanks for coming over. If you don't know us yet and you've just seen this for the first time, this is RGR Football. He's in charge of the film. I'm in charge of the other stuff. Like, sub, hit the bell, do the stuff. We appreciate you. I thought that two guys that left the ball game because they had injuries and came back in played significant portions of this game. Mike Pennell versus the run. Like you said, other than that one drive, I thought Mike put in some quality snaps, and they needed him, right, to help out everybody else. And then CRW, the guy that ended up leading this team in tackles, is a UDFA that we told you about before training camp. And now he's leading in what was a had-to-have game. So kudos to those two guys. I wanted to shout them out before we get sidetracked with questions. And we are going to answer your questions. Every super chat is going to get one. We're going to address most of the other topics, but we are going to go a little bit light today, folks. So we're not doing the full hour. It is Christmas, so we want to make sure that you spend time with your families. And I've got a drive to go spend time with mine. So, Dan, who else stood out to you overall?
I mean, and we're talking about him again, Xavier Worthy, just having game after game after game. And when you're able to do what he does with the football in his hands, you can execute a bunch of different things offensively. It was an extension of the run game. So shout out to Xavier Worthy on the quick passes. He's in that real spot now with Hollywood Brown in the offense. And it just kind of shows, right? It shows that they're actually using him in really nice ways. Juwan Taylor, 2 penalties that were not penalties. I don't know what they were looking at on the second one where TJ Watt's trying to get across his face and he's just moving with him. He's not holding him. He just can't get by him. That's not a hold. And the first one was a beautifully executed snatch. It's not a hold. It's just not. So 2 things that were not holds get called on Juwan Taylor, but he was fantastic in this football game on an island against TJ Watt, and they did not allow him to derail that. Joe Thuney, again, we're talking about it 3 straight weeks against the fiercest pass rushes and rushers that this team has faced in the NFL in the season. And he is just a left tackle. So maybe DJ Humphries, maybe you can play left guard when you come back. I don't know, because right now you don't want to mess with something that's working this well, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't know if I pissed Joe off or not, but he clearly proved me wrong because I thought he would have more trouble than he has.
Me too.
So kudos to him. You can't really get better than that. I mean, it's really great to see. And as you said, Juwan Taylor, he was iffy to play in this game. Yes,
Yeah.
he had little struggles, whatever, but that's fine. To quote JJ, because this is the way every play went on this Netflix broadcast. So my brother was going after him and he couldn't get around. So then the rest of the play happened. They decided to throw the flag. Every single play.
It was ridiculous. Like I love JJ Watt. I don't think he's quite ready to be a color commentator. It's not really in the realm for him, especially when his brother is on the other team that is playing in this game. So he's going to get there eventually. I'm confident of that. Thundarius, how's it going? I saw you asking what we're drinking. This is a Seasick Crocodile. It's sour, which you guys know I love sours. Cranberries, ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. This is the beer of choice right now for the holidays for us.
Nice. Well done. I am not drinking yet. That'll come later. I got to go see my pops. And the way that we do that is usually with some Pappy to seal off the day. So we got one bottle we've been working on for about 15 years. So
there you go.
We're going to continue that one. But a lot going on there. Merry Christmas to you, Thundarius. Nice to see you. Steven, Merry Christmas to the best nation in all football. Love you, Rogue Nation. You guys rock. If you don't know what Rogue Nation is and you're not part of it yet, you can click that join button and get in there. Rookies and above, get into Rogue Nation, which is our Discord. So kudos to you, Steven, and nice to see you. Merry Christmas to everyone, but especially you members. We very much appreciate you. If we get the three-peat, does Annie and Travis retire into the best sunset ever? FAU with a beautiful solo sack. Nice to see him finally go. And good point on the second part, Andrew. I got to tell you, I told you preseason that I'm not sure about Travis. I don't see Andy going anywhere. I think he's here to try to go. If they get it, especially, I think they'll both be back. But how do you feel?
I feel the same way. Travis is not retiring if they win a Super Bowl. I don't believe that's going to happen because guess what? You can extend history with a fourth. So he's going to keep trying to get that going. So I do believe that both will come back. Andy Reid has shown zero signs of slowing down or contemplating retirement, regardless of what some fake reporter for NBC wants to report.
And to the point where when Adam Schefter is telling you you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing, Mike Florio, just go away. Just stop saying words, okay? I think we would all be happier for it. Jeremy, thank you, buddy. 4 years in the memberships. You keep us going, and we appreciate you. Dominant win, and that's a very good way to put it. We haven't been able to say that word a whole lot this year. Merry Christmas to you, sir. We very much appreciate you. Kyle, defense secondary looked worlds better than it has. Lots of coverage sacks. What did Spags change? Tooney is still holding his own at left tackle. What did you see?
Well, I thought you saw a couple of good things. Josh Williams played very good in this football game. He's getting his confidence under him. And then you saw them drop Najee Johnson because he got beat on a 3rd and long situation where he shouldn't have been opening himself up to the inside so quickly in that 3rd and long situation. And Keith Taylor comes in and makes a play almost immediately, defeating a block and makes that tackle right there. He was pretty good against George Pickens a couple of times as well, but the pieces fit. The pieces fit. CRW helps. We've been saying it. We understood that Chamari Connor has been very good for this defense, but he's a liability in coverage. He just is. You can match up too many players with him. With CRW, okay, every now and then you'll probably beat him, but he's quick. In the short term, when you're trying to force those coverage sacks, he's going to blanket his guy. It's going to be late when he gets beat. So I saw a team that outside of a couple of deep shots to Trent McDuffie, because, I mean, he's short and he still nearly got his hand on the Mike Williams one. And George Pickens clearly pushed off to the late separate there in the back, which is why you saw him kind of like, oh, yeah, he couldn't really do anything. But regardless, I think that they're playing with confidence and they're being put in the proper positions to succeed. What's going on, man?
It's the thing that bothered me and made me laugh the most today. It's not going to happen against the Chiefs, but I am all here. I will have the popcorn for the day that George Pickens just melts completely down and loses his damn mind, because it is coming. This is why that dude is not on this roster, because he cannot be a team player. That's the way it was at Georgia. Everybody I know down there said the same thing. You don't want him in your locker room. Well, clearly he ain't helping you now. So good luck, Mike Tomlin. I think the world of Mike Tomlin, but I think he got himself in a bad position. So I will also say this. Everybody had to step up. You see Jaden Hicks, who does have to learn, if you're going to taunt somebody, do it as you're walking away, please. Don't stand over people. Just make it on your way back to the bench. But Jaden Hicks is starting to round in, right? CRW starting to round in, led the team in tackles today. So it's, once again, the younger guys that are starting to try to catch up. I thought that was what happened in like week 8 or 10 or 12. It's week 16, but it is happening. And that's the reason that you're seeing things shift around. I think they're on their way up, and I think sky's the limit at this point.
Guys, Jaden Hicks is a real player. Dude was just laying the wood in this football game multiple times. That's what you needed from him and what you saw at Washington State. And that play that he made on George Pickens was beautiful. And I tweeted out, it's a lesson right there. It's learn you can't have fun in the NFL. If you're a safety and you go ahead and you dunk on a wide receiver, you should be able to have a little bit of fun. You're not able to do that right now. So just remember that for next time when you dunk on a guy who usually dunks on other people.
Yeah, I agree with you. You just got to take it a little bit easy, but it's a learning process. Same thing with X in the end zone. I thought that was clean at first because I didn't see the angle other than the presence into the bag portion of that celebration. It was the little after bit that got him. So some learning points has to happen. But when you're winning like this against a team that people thought were going to come and upset you, yeah. I mean, you got to make the most of it. Miss Brenda, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Vel, nice to see you, buddy. It's been a bit. Before I rant, the boys are back in rhythm. Thank you. Good point first. But Taylor has even my little sister asking, is he supposed to get flags? Is that a good thing? And Hicks has arrived. That's fair. It does fly around a little bit. We do have to remember that he was significantly hurt, didn't practice this week, wasn't likely to play. So kudos to him for powering through is the way that I would come at that. He's still pushing the limits, but against TJ, I'm not going to complain too much.
Me either, because TJ's going to push his limits too. He got off. He was offside a couple times in this football game, and it didn't get thrown. So you do what you can, right? You get those little margins, and I think that in the playoffs, you're going to see those margins where they used to throw flags in the regular season. They probably will be a little more lenient on some of those in the postseason, which is what this all comes down to in the end.
Playoff ball is playoff ball. It's great. Val, thank you and appreciate the support.
Appreciate
and
you,
Cole,
Val.
It's nice to see you, buddy. Let's go. Appreciate the support. Much, how about them Chiefs? You guys know all know Cole, but if you don't, go watch How About Them Chiefs. I don't know if I can help you much, Cole, but we appreciate you being around. Merry Christmas to you and yours, buddy. Hope you're doing well. we got to the drinking thing. Yeah, and that's going to happen. Notorious, nice to see you too, bud, and thank you for the support. Merry Christmas, fellas. Did you see Hicks pull the Hulk smash? I think Nazi should sit down for the rest of the year. You got to keep him available in case somebody gets hurt, but seriously, there are some matchups that he'll be good for and some that maybe are more challenging. I think you got to keep him around. I was actually really impressed with the entire secondary the last 2 weeks. They forced teams into, hey, if they're going to overly blitz, we're going to throw screens. The secondary has crushed screens for the last 2 weeks running. They don't work anymore. And that's partially for everyone. And Nazi did do a good job on one of those today as well. They all come up and run support. They all pitch in there. So you don't let a 3-yard play turn into a 30-yard play. And that's part of playing winning defense. So I got to give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah, and you have to be able to rotate all these guys in because I don't believe that Josh Williams, Keith Taylor, Nazi Johnson are full-time players. They are a good unit together, and there's going to be different matchups where you're going to want them out there, and that's how you really want to execute. You don't want someone sitting down the whole season. You need those tires kind of warm. You want them to be able to go into any given situation because also they've had injuries at the position, so you don't want everyone just to sit down right now. The only guy that's going to be out there all the time is Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. And the snaps reflect that as well. So I think that works. Dirty, nice to see you. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Well, thank you, Mr. 3 years in our memberships. We very much appreciate you. And if you guys join the memberships, this is one of the things that you're going to get. And that's my weekly notes on how the ball games went. And there's a couple of things in here that I do want to talk about. And since you set me up there, Dirty, I'm going to let you go there. We're about halfway through tonight's show, folks. It's going to be a little truncated. So if you have a question you want in, hit the super chat and we'll get you in here. I promise you. But one of the things that stood out just in my general takeaways, Mike Dana, huge game, right? Pennell getting it out was significant to me. Left the game for a while. And what happens? He guts his way back into it. And what does Spags do? He's like, oh, hey, I'm going to call a nose tackle drop. Go try to cover somebody. And Mike could barely jog into coverage. It was pretty bad, Spags, to the point where I'm saying, WTF are you doing, Spags? He just got back in there. So need a little bit more awareness, but kudos to Mike Pennell for sticking that out. And then I'm sorry. The X thing, I get. That's a move you're not supposed to do, throw the flag. Fine. The Hicks thing, standing over the player. Okay, that's a thing. Throw the flag. Travis Kelce paying homage to Tony Gonzalez should not draw a damn flag. That's just the way that it is. That's ridiculous.
It makes no sense because everybody knew this has been talked about since he got close. And Tony Gonzalez has said he'll pay for his fine. Like he's already said he's going to do it. This has been in the air for months, like for weeks. So the gall to throw the flag anyway. Honestly, the Steelers should have just declined it. That would have been the classy move to do because we know it's going to happen. But at the end of the day, Bucker nails the field goal. You don't have to worry about it so much. But there's some excessivity to it. And again, we think Jawaan Taylor wasn't holding anybody. He was executing, in my opinion. But that's just going to be where the eyes go, right? So in a game like this, where the Chiefs were blatantly put under the microscope in terms of some of the things they were doing, also with penalties, they out penalized the Steelers by a ton. It was a large margin in terms of yards and penalties that were accepted against the Chiefs. But overall, you have to have a little bit of awareness. And I want to shout out, I think the offense and defense played well today, but you can't have some of these special teams problems. Even I understand the short week stuff. It's a little bit different where you have two people communicating to I think it was Derek Nottie, go off the field, come on the field, stay on the field, things like that. You have to have better streamlined communication. And obviously Remigio made up for his almost gaffe with a couple of big returns and also the ball punting coming right back to him. So you have that too. Best special teams weren't excellent today, although Justin Reed getting flagged when he got back didn't make any sense to me.
I'm reading people who disagree about the homage to Tony. I gotta tell you, I just don't understand it, guys. And Chiefster,
I don't know why it's a penalty to begin with. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean it's not taunting. You can do bowling alleys with your teammates or something. Like you can do all these intricate things, but you can't just jump off and spike the damn thing. It doesn't make any sense, and I think it's pretty bad. But here's the thing that comes from it all is Andy Reid wants players to be players, show their personality, get out there and do all the stuff and the things. I agree with him on that. But this is the learning point where they have to have some kind of their own mitigation of their line so they don't cross it. Because it's fine today. They were up. They were playing well. You can't afford that in a playoff game, period, no matter what. Like, that's a benchable offense in postseason. So get it out of your system. Learn from it. Jaden Hicks, I think we've talked about him since the day he was. I don't know that there's been a draft pick in the last couple of years that we haven't been more excited about than where they got Jaden Hicks. And he's starting to play into it. Yeah. But he's still got to learn. And he will. And I don't think that that's going to be a problem. So let's take that away. In terms of penalties, it was 9 for 90. That is pretty significant. But at the end of the day, they went 50% for the offense's third downs. And they only allowed 30% to the Steelers. The thing, honestly, that was bugging me the most is I saw a couple of plays where guys weren't hustling to the play. We're walking towards the end of it or whatever, particularly on 2 of Russ Wilson's scrambles that drove me absolutely batty. If you're not pursuing just because he's faster than you and he's past you, you still need to hustle that play. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter to me. You still need to be in there in case he jukes 17 guys and runs backwards because people do that, Travis. You got to be prepared to make that follow-up tackle. That's part of playing team defense. So, sorry, I digress a little bit because you know me. Chiefs leaving 3 points on the extra point and 2-point conversion. Not saying it didn't impact the game, but just take the points. What do you think, Dan?
I don't care. you miss an extra point because of a penalty, and then Bucker misses it. You go for 2 to try to get it back. I think that they just didn't get exactly what they wanted to on it, and Pat doesn't necessarily, again, it doesn't count against the stats on that, so we just threw it up. Hopefully, maybe Travis or DeAndre Hopkins on the same side of the field come down with it. Doesn't matter to me. The one extra point, again, both things happen congruent of each other. You have the extra point because of the penalty makes it more difficult, and you get that. So for me, it's not a problem, but I understand having just the frustration. You could have had an extra point here or there.
Yeah, you want to get to the point where we're playing a perfect game. This was a complete game. I absolutely agree with Jedi. That was a complete game. There's still holes in it. It's not a perfect game, and there is the opportunity for this team. But when you take a step back and you see where they are about versus where they have been, Hollywood didn't have a huge game, but his presence allowed things to happen. X really starting to do more and more things. Xavier Worthy, again, this whole season has been delayed. Hicks on the defensive side, Worthy, obviously Kingsley's development has been put off. But the guys that are on the field are starting to hit it, and that's what's really exciting. Now with 3 weeks off where you don't have to play any of them, you can get depth reps for other guys. You can rest the guys that need it, and you're going to be ready for the playoffs. And that's how you go on a 3-game win streak in January and get yourself a championship. So let's hope that that's what they do. Is the writing on the wall for Cook? Hicks and Reed looked formidable. I know your Cook's is your guy, Ryan, but there isn't anything that he does better than Hicks. There is actually. He makes game-saving or touchdown-saving plays. He's where he takes good angles. Hicks isn't quite there. Hicks has more impactful plays. I think Cooks plays more solid fundamentals. And if they ask them, both of those guys, to be the high safeties and play split, I think they can both do it. They ask either of them to play single, it makes me nervous. So I value your opinion, Vel. I disagree a little bit, but Hicks certainly is as good as we had hoped he was going to be.
I think you might be able to make that case next year. That's wait after this year, and you might be able to make that case next year.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He will continue. And thanks, Vel. Appreciate you, and Merry Christmas. Nick, thank you as well. Has Nico made his case to stay the returner once McColl comes back? Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, buddy, and thanks for always being here. I kind of feel that he has. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you, bar none, he's the best returner on the team right now. Like there's no ifs, ands, or busts in my opinion.
Yeah, there's just so much more to it. He needs more experience, clearly. But McColl's still going to make some of those mistakes. We've seen that happen. So might as well let the young guy do it and make a contribution, because I think, depending on how this offseason falls out, he could be somebody that could be on the field for you on offense as well. And I look forward to that myself. So thank you, Absolutely. Nick, as always. Vel, thank you again. I'm glad I didn't make you mad. So cheers to you, buddy. Giving away 10 memberships.
Appreciate you, Vel.
For those of you that just got memberships, you're in at the draft level. You can do the emoticons and all the extra stuff that you can do in the chat. If you upgrade, you get to the rookie level. You get into Discord. You get the notes. You get the extra videos, the whole 9 yards. Vel, thank you. And some thoughtful praise from you. I very much appreciate it, and hope you didn't take the last one as I was coming down on you. So Merry Christmas. Reed, love seeing Watson get some redemption. Thank you for nearly 4 years, Reed. Appreciate having you, and thank you very much.
Wow, Reed, thank you.
This is a topic that I probably should have brought up. Reed, you saved us here, because we would have been, in the wrong and not bringing it up. 2 for 2 huge plays, averaging 30 yards a catch and scoring. I mean, bang for the buck. Justin Watson's been there.
You want to know something funny about this whole thing? Justin Watson won't make those plays. Well, won't have those opportunities like 3 weeks ago. I think that when you bring in Hollywood Brown and it bumps everyone down to their proper roles, now you're seeing him take the opportunity, and they had that single man coverage up top, and they were able to just get him a free release in the outside, and they took that shot and they got it. And then I think the extension off of this was the RPOs. They started to be a little bit more worried about the deep parts of the field. And what does that do? It opens up the middle. When you're sitting on RPOs, like the defenses were for multiple years coming into this year, then you're not able to get those quick passes out. But we saw like 4 or 5 of them today where guys were wide open. Hollywood Brown catches that one on 2nd and long, gets the first, and then Travis gets one later. Like that all comes down to, we have a deep play. We got it. We were able to get you guys into what you thought was a lesser wide receiver position, and then we took a shot and we got it. So absolutely, Watson being in the right spot right there, and Mahomes hitting it. And absolutely, there was no error in that throw either. There was no adjustment needed to be made. He didn't drift to the sideline like he did a few years ago, and it was on the money. It was beautiful.
It really does help when everything rolls on timing and all that can actually happen. Reed, thank you for bringing it up, and we appreciate the insight as always. Dub Freak, nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. It's like I don't even know how late it is over there. What is it? Midnight almost? I had a stressful and shitty day, 14 hours at work, but came home and to see that we've gotten the win makes me very happy, man. Merry Christmas. And from the UK, how about them Chiefs? Thank you, Dub Freak. And I hope that you had a good one. Your morning's going to come earlier than ours, but hope the day after Christmas is a little bit better for you, pal. Enjoy the win, and maybe that will help. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. And we got Vel. Thank you, Vel. Notorious, nice to see you again. Worthy penalty was dumb. According to the game, I saw someone say that he pulled on Superman's cape. Patrick Mahomes is awake now. And that's the thing. Like, he's always had the ability to just turn it on. Well, sorry, NFL, you screwed up and let him turn it on. Dummies. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's this 2 straight weeks. I think Patrick Mahomes has turned it on. Travis today turned it on. You guys asked on Monday if Travis would be able to turn it on for the postseason. This was to clinch the 1 seed. Travis turned it on. Like, he can't make guys miss like he used to be able to. He tried to earlier in this football game and got tackled. I'm like, Trav, know your role, buddy. It's not 3 or 4 years ago, but you saw when the space was there, Travis and Patrick were on the same page every single time today. And that's the difference. What separates them. Why we were questioning, can they turn it on? Well, guess what? They can. And they just clinched the 1 seed. And they're going to get rest. I'm sorry, NFL. Like, y'all had multiple chances. The Raiders had a chance. The Broncos had chances. Multiple teams had chances to beat this team and knock them away from the 1 seed. And you didn't do it.
Nope. Didn't do nothing with it. There, you blew your opportunity. So you reap what you sow. In fact, I'll have a piece for you guys sometime tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll name it. You done messed up. How's about that? Gary, nice to see you. And I'm sorry, I didn't know you were having surgery on your eyes. So take it easy, and I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. Gary's one of our mods. He's been here since day one. We appreciate you, pal. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And I hope
you're doing all right, Gary.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know, please. Dre, welcome to the memberships. Very much appreciate you. Love to see new members joining us. Ryan, what did you have? Bengals fans rooting for a Chiefs win next week. Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you. I know that there's some goals there, so go get them. Good luck to you. Should the Chiefs play the starters for at least 1 or 2 drives next week? Some of them, yes. I will not argue with that. Personally, I think that there's a couple of guys that could still use from more on the defensive side. If you want to call Najee a starter, you could do that. But I think Hicks needs continuity. I don't think you want to sit him. Probably same thing for Cook. X to try to keep that rhythm, right? But the stars, rest them all. I would probably replace the entire offensive line. I wouldn't have any of the starters play next week.
If you got anybody with any nagging injuries, you're not playing. You're not doing anything. Even a slight injury, you're not playing. So I agree with you. No offensive line starters should play. Kingsley Suamataia, go play. Go play left tackle. Play for a whole game. Guess what? This game means nothing. Go out there. You don't have to worry about your confidence being ruined. Go out there and build some. You set a foundation for next year. That's what he needs right now.
Well, and here's something exciting. We might actually get to see Ethan Driscoll play a ball game.
Absolutely.
There's no reason not to. I would not mind seeing that. I would be fully behind that. So, time stacks, I would take the opportunity to rest everybody you can. Obviously, sitting down 22 guys out of a 69-man roster is not in the cards, but some guys are going to have to play through. I heard a rumor that Tyreek could possibly come back next year. Is there a chance we could have Hill, Hopkins, Brown, Worthy, and Rice as our receivers? Well, let's take a look at it. I pulled it up so we could look at it together. Because I honestly don't have an answer for you. I'm going to blow this up size-wise. Let's see. So there is a potential out, according to Spot Track, after 25, not after 24. So what that means is dead cap would still be $56 million. So unless you're talking about trading back for him, the answer is no. I don't think they're going to cut him loose even at 56, unless they just have a total meltdown in the front office and ownership group. I don't see that happening. Maybe after that could be a different thing. You want to come back for a victory tour there, Tyreek?
Sure.
Hey, welcome, and you can be our third receiver.
Yep.
It's the way it might work out. You never quite know. So, hey, we'll see. Dirty, thanks for bringing it up, though, because I hadn't heard that or considered it. Merry Christmas, Vel. Thank you, buddy. I'm spending Christmas alone. Man. You guys are being live means more than you know. And Nora, I'm a former college player. I've been chewed out in film rooms. I was not trying to do that, dude. But I know the feeling because, I've had more chew outs in film rooms than I've had pats on the back. That's for damn sure. So cheers to you, bud. And Merry Christmas yet again. I hope you guys all are having a great Christmas. We're going to wrap up here in just a minute or two. Last call for Super Chats, and we'll get them all on the road. Do we really want 2 AFC West teams to make the playoffs? I certainly do. I'm happy for 3 of them to make the playoffs, to tell you the truth, because you've proven you can beat them. They ain't no skin off my nose. Maybe they'll take somebody else out for you. Maybe there's a better matchup that somebody could take out the Bills for you. Hey, I wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. You have the mental edge over the Chargers and the Broncos. Like, regardless of what happens next week, it won't matter. Bo Nix is a rookie quarterback. You want Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes, versus Steve Spagnuolo in the postseason, the best game planner in the NFL in postseason in the NFL history. Yeah,
I'll take that.
Come on down. Come on down, Bo.
Welcome in. This is how we do it. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. Night Hunter, nice to see you. 4.5 years or 3.5 years, almost 4. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you so much, Knight.
Been here a ton. It's good to see you. Let's go. Number 1 seed is ours. Hello, sir. Merry Christmas to you. Eric, we got yours. So we're going to end up here on Michael. Nice to see you, Michael. Merry Christmas to all you rogues. 5 sacks without Chris Jones. Just wow. Has Prince evolved sneakily? Hollywood in and 5th gear found. Can our O get better? The O can definitely get better. I'm not sure the Prince reference. Is that P. Ryan maybe?
I'm assuming Princely maybe? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's P. Ryan.
Okay. Follow that up real quick, Michael, and we'll address that too. But yeah, this is definitely an offense that I think can get better. Hollywood definitely still working in. They didn't even go to D-Hop much today because they are clearly trying to accelerate. Now that they have Hollywood, they're clearly the last 2 games trying to accelerate what they're doing with X to get him ready. And when the 3 of them are ready, holy cow, because it's going to be on. So yes, they can definitely evolve.
He did come back, and I'm not entirely sure what he means by Prince D lineman.
I'm still confused. Give me a number. Give me a jersey number. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm sorry, Michael.
Are you thinking Felix Anudike-Uzomah? Because I think what he showed there just in one pass.
Felix, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think he did show some evolution there. I think there you go. Yeah, I think that is what it is. I think that did show some. He's always had that ability, but he's putting it together in one move, and I think that's really what it showed me.
The win was quick. He used his hands properly. He got off the ball fast. If you guys, we talked about this. The get off has been one of the bigger problems. When you're thinking too much, you're slower off the ball. When you're faster, which is one thing he was very good at in college, he wasn't thinking. He was just rushing. But you're forced now to play with technique. These guys are going to out-athlete you. They're going to be better than you. You have to win with technique. That was a pure technique win. He almost had another sack later in the game too, where he split a double team. He was splitting that double team on the left-hand side. He's starting to unfold a little bit here. It's nice to see.
You know, enough guys can bring you along. We've heard about how Hop's been helping X, right? All these guys, and maybe it's Charles Omenihu that has a connection with FAU that is just starting to really help. And it takes a village, really. It takes a whole room for the D-line to really come together. So I'm happy to see it, and I think that's exactly what we are seeing. So on that note, thank you all for being here. You members can download the notes. I'll have them posted up tomorrow. I'll give you a little bit tomorrow. We're going to have content through the rest of the week. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously, because we're a little bit off schedule, and we're going to enjoy it. So I hope you guys do as well. Merry Christmas to all of you. If you celebrate other things like Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, happy holidays to you as well. Get ready for New Year's. Chiefs are going to have it off. So it's going to be pretty light around One Arrowhead Drive, but we will keep you informed the whole way. Dan, from my family to yours, thank you for everything. Say hi to ladies for me.
You as well. And thank you very much, Ryan. Merry Christmas, everybody. Whatever holiday, whatever denomination you guys celebrate. Have a great day. have a great holiday week. I'm just overwhelmed with my own words right now, my own ability to speak, but New Year's is coming up. And like Ryan said, the Chiefs will not have to worry about this when New Year's comes around. It's going to be postseason success is what they're going to be looking at. And they've done it 2 years in a row, and they're going for 3, guys. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Let's get it done. And quick shout out to my brother for the shirt. Appreciate you.
Nice.
Gate Stack, you got to love it. So that'll be my new nickname. Have a great night, everybody. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you tomorrow.